Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are the Rum and Regret podcast. I am Andy Drake.
Johanna Myers.
Nate Tessie, and we drink and we know things.
Today is April 21st. We're about a month in quarantine now. All sort of slightly starting to lose it. Don't you guys agree?
No, yeah, more than slightly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Tonight we are talking about the best sci-fi fantasy non-sequel movies. Now, I came up with this topic. I initially had a different topic in mind, or a similar topic, but I thought it was just going to be a little bit too hard. So the initial topic that I had was the best one-off sci-fi fantasy movies that had no continuation of the story. That was just one and done.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, and I figured that would be hard for us to come up with sort of five initially that we really, really liked.
Spaceballs?
Right.
Hey, the search for more money is coming at some point.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all hearsay until you actually see it, though.
Right. Yeah. So that was the edit on the topic for us tonight. Our top five best non-sequel sci-fi fantasy movies. I think looking at the list, I think we got some gems here. So I don't know, Joe, you want to start it off?
Sure thing. So I stuck to just sci-fi.
Okay.
And my list is Event Horizon, because it's a cult classic sci-fi horror.
It is one of my favorite space horror movies ever. Mm-hmm. Sam Neill is fantastically creepy when he goes all crazy.
Oh yeah, scares
at the end.
Pants off you.
Another great Jason Isaacs role as well. Lawrence Fishburne is excellent in that movie as well. And just it's a space movie like we've never ever seen before. You know, like Aliens was sort of that first space horror movie, right? That really got you sort of freaked out and scared in space, but you're dealing with aliens, right?
Yeah.
And you're dealing with an alternate life form. And I'm sorry to totally hijack your
It's all good.
But I'm so glad you put this on here because I have so much love for this movie. But then dealing with sort of, we're going to create this new way of travel and just completely fuck with the fabric of the universe and just what we bring in. It was such a great concept for a movie, and I just thought it was executed so well, and it was just, I love it.
Yeah, I was bummed because it wasn't received well when it initially came out, but since it has amassed a huge cult following and gotten its fair dues.
Yeah, and the soundtrack was good too on that movie. I love the soundtrack on that.
I might have to pay more attention to that now.
Well, what initially kicked me off to that was the end track, which is just sort of a throwdown sort of techno beat, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But then I listened to just the whole suite after I watched it, and it was really good. Like, it was so subtle, you hardly knew it was there, but it was really, really good, really well done. So.
Awesome sauce.
I'm glad you picked it.
Yeah.
I'm glad too. And just for the listeners that aren't regulars, Andy Drake is a Drake. So shout out to Tommy and Dan. And their ability to hijack any conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
They are three very loquacious brothers. So number 2 on my list is Alien, because you have to.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's groundbreaking and just an amazing movie.
Yeah, I was going to say with both of those two, I need to rewatch those. It's been a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And they're both still good from what I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 3 is one of my absolute favorite movies of all time, Logan's Run.
Oh, God.
A great 70s dystopian sci-fi movie. Everyone dies at 30. There is no sanctuary.
Fish and plankton and proteins from the sea. This is this is another one of my favorite movies, and again, I'm glad you brought this one up and on here, because they've tried this afterwards, with like The Island and with what was that other movie? I can't even remember the name of it now, but I don't think as well executed as this movie at all.
No, I would agree with you there. It's just awesome, and you just can't beat that.
Right. Yeah.
Peter Ustinov as the old man.
Oh, God.
Just quotes T.S. Eliot all day long.
Right. Yeah, feeling like we're feeling all right now.
Yep.
And it comes back full circle.
Right. Yeah.
Alrighty. Number 4 for me is Terminator.
That was this. I'm again, dude. Your list could have been easily my list.
Yeah, and same with yours. So
yeah,
you stole a couple from me.
Yeah.
But yeah, another groundbreaking movie that, just you can't beat it, and nothing like one of the few movies where I will say the sequel was better, but still that original Terminator just holds weight for me. Arnold and just all the techno music and
yeah. And I think too, I agree with you, and I think this is a topic for another day, that we should do sequels that are equal or eclipse its predecessor.
Yep.
But one thing that's for sure with the Terminator franchise is that after 2, they just can't seem to find that magic anymore. And it's sad a little bit, but again, you can try new ways to tell the story or further the story, but it's gotten hard really to continue that story. And I think that it was something that should have been left at 2.
Yeah, I don't think they needed to go any further with that, but that's just my opinion.
But yeah, no, it's such an incredible movie and such a great sort of payoff at the end, and the spin that Michael Biehn is Connor's father was just one of those.
Spoiler alert.
Well, yeah. Anybody all 6 people who listen to our podcast probably know exactly what the hell we're talking about. And if you haven't seen Terminator at this point in your life and you listen to us, shame on you.
You know what grinds my gears? People that don't see the best things ever, in my opinion.
Worst nerd ever.
I feel like that's me half the time, because a lot of these movies I remember seeing, and I'm not haven't been into Rick and Morty. Like, I need to really get my nerd back. I mean, I think I get bonus points for being into D&D games, but we definitely need to talk about in one of our future podcasts. We should classify the nerd types.
Oh yeah, I agree. I actually tried to use geek as much as possible, just because I feel that to be a nerd about something is, and again, perfect topic for another podcast. But yeah, I try to use geek as much as possible, and I totally just outed myself because I just used nerd.
So, and then my final movie might have been a sleeper for a lot of people. It's called Ex Machina.
So fucking good. God,
so
it's so
good.
good.
Yeah. It's Oscar Isaac and Domhall Gleeson.
Yeah,
of course.
Doing the Turing test on a live AI.
Her Ginger Ninja in there.
Yeah.
Did you see that he's in a new HBO show?
Yes and no. I'm kind of vaguely aware of it.
Yeah, it looks interesting. It's a series too, so he'll be on there a lot. It'll be the most of him you'll have ever seen.
Ooh.
Go on. Yeah, great pull, Joe. I love this movie.
And Ex Machina is one. It's the soundtrack is killer.
Oh yeah,
and it has the most epic of Oscar Isaac dance sequences.
Is very true.
It's a brilliant movie. I love that this came out the same year as Star Wars, right? Didn't it come out either the same year or 6 months after or something like that?
Yeah, they were really close.
Like, wait, I just saw those guys and the girl. Oh my god.
Alice Vikander.
Oh yeah,
No.
one of the.
What's the main girl? It's not Alice Vikander.
Isn't that her?
No, it's the girl that Ben Affleck is dating right now. She's also in the remake of Running Man. What's her name?
I believe you're wrong, Nate.
Yeah, I think you are.
It is Alice Vikander.
Yeah, you're thinking about the girl from Knives Out, and
oh yeah, you know what? I am.
Yeah, you're way off.
You're right.
Dude.
I'm way off. Another hot brunette. I'm so off. Oh my god, what was her name? Now I can't get her face out of my head. Jeez, back up.
Like Asa something? I don't know.
Continue.
Okay, all right, yeah. No, Joe, I agree with you on this one. This was such a great sort of movie out of nowhere that I knew nothing about. That I had seen the previews and everything, and then we finally watched it way after the fact. We Redboxed it, I believe it, and it was just, one of those really, really good movies. I also, after I saw it, I deep dived into how they made everything, and even just all the effect stuff. It's just incredible the work that they put into this movie.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Just her body and like head.
Yeah.
And then all the other previous incantations and all that stuff. I don't try not to spoil anything, but it's the visual effects are stunning.
Oh yeah.
Ana de Armas.
Oh, there you go.
Smoking hot.
We lost Nate for a minute.
Yeah. Apologies.
He was Googling.
Googling and other things.
Yeah. Oh dear.
And I'm back.
All right. Any off-listers for you, Joe, or should we go through and then discuss honorable mentions afterwards?
We can do honorable mentions in a little bit.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah, off to you guys.
All right, Nate.
Sure. Yeah, I've got a good list for honorable mentions, so I like the idea of doing that at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so Star Wars Episode 4, because clearly best space opera ever.
Yeah, of course.
For all the reasons.
We've dedicated several podcasts to its children. So
to the redheaded stepchildren that have begot from the brilliance that was the original trilogy.
Right.
The first movie is really, really good. I mean, this is one where the sequel is definitely better. Empire is my all-time favorite Star Wars movie and probably favorite sci-fi movie, maybe.
Okay.
But as far as the original goes, first movies in the series, then definitely this movie got me into sci-fi, sci-fantasy, whatever you want to call it. Big deal in my life and love it still. And Addie loves it, so she has Do or Do Not. There's No Try in on her room with a bunch of posters and
nice.
Yeah, it's amazing. Hi, Xander. So second one here, I put Guardians of the Galaxy. So this one is probably one of the newest of the movies on the list, or most recent, I guess, not newest. 2014, I think. I have to double check that. But anyway, what a great movie that nobody expected to be as great as it was. Soundtrack is probably one of those like top 10 movie soundtrack type situations if you go across genres.
Yeah, it's iconic.
Yeah, where James Gunn and I'm not sure who actually did the soundtrack for it, but pulled together just iconic 70s and 80s music, and it really kind of injected some life back into those songs that were so great that people it's one of those things where, oh man, I haven't heard this song in forever, but it's awesome. And another one where the soundtrack in the sequel is probably better than the soundtrack in the first one, but the original Guardians was just great, like slapstick Marvel space adventure with a dance off. Like, you can't get any better than that. And Chris Pratt coming off the Parks and Rec, schlubby Chris Pratt to six-pack Star-Lord, gave all of us schlubs a reason to think about working out. Not actually do it, just think about it, because we wouldn't be schlubs anymore. But anyway,
Yeah, that's definitely my favorite out of the Marvel movies for sure.
He got the Marvel glow up big time. So
yeah, I knew that this movie was going to be a hit, and I swear to God, as soon as I saw James Gunn was directing this movie, I know a lot of people were late to the James Gunn game. I was not. And I'm sure I forced Joe to watch this movie back in the day, but he did a movie, a lesser well-known movie called The Specials, about the 6th or 7th best superhero team on the planet, that starred Thomas Hayden Church, Paget Brewster, Rob Lowe.
Oh God.
And it is them on an off day. They are getting action figures made of them, and it is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. Sean Gunn's in it as the alien sort of stepchild, and he does all his weird sort of movements and everything. He has this great dance scene, and it is one of my sort of all-time top. Nobody knows what the fuck this movie is. So yeah, and then Slither. I'm sure you guys have seen Slither. Joe, I'm sure you've seen Slither. Nate, you haven't seen Slither?
Me not seeing it is excusable, but Joe not seeing it, we must be at the end of times right now. What's happening
here?
It's a
Nathan Fillion helmed horror movie?
I missed it. I will work to rectify this.
Not sure I can talk to you guys for the rest of the night.
Okay,
well, thank you for being on the Rum and Regret podcast.
Yeah, exactly. This is thank you for listening to our final episode of the Rum and Regret podcast.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Back in your holes.
Yeah.
No worries. So number 3, I put Avatar. This is one of the first. It's not the first. I'm trying to remember what the first one was. One of the first movies I saw in IMAX 3D, and it was fucking amazing. The movie by itself, I think, on several levels was groundbreaking. Obviously, the story is your basic kind of White Knight situation. Not White Knight situation. What am I talking about? What's it called?
It's essentially Fern Gully.
No, it's not White Knight. That's the wrong phrase. It's basically the savior that comes in and takes the indigenous people's side against, same like Last Samurai, same deal. So it's not the White Knight. I'll think about after we're done talking about
John Smith, Pocahontas.
there you go. Yeah, I appreciate. It's still not the phrasing I'm looking for. Pocahontas would have been a great way to sum that up, though. Anyway, so I picked Avatar because the movie is just brilliantly shot, and they created new technology to be able to shoot this movie. And I think the world itself is really well built. The background story just of the indigenous people and their relationship with the world and the beasts that they ride and all of that crap just looked amazing. I think the acting was pretty good in general. A lot of it was a little cringy, but visually it's kind of untouchable compared to other movies. It turns up CGI at the time specifically, but even now it's really on par with anything or better. And he's making 4 more at the same time, apparently, right. Spending $1 billion, $250 a movie to make 4 more, which nobody asked for. I could have seen one would have been cool, and then see how it goes. But wow, I guess when you have that kind of money, you can go all in.
Right. Yeah.
I think the global box office for something like that is going to rake in so much money he doesn't care. Like he'll make billions off of that.
Yeah. There's the show that we just finished watching that just came on Hulu. The 3rd season just dropped on Hulu. Futureman does a great bit on James Cameron because the premise is very James Cameron-esque, if you will, when it comes to sort of the plot of Terminator. But if you guys get a chance and have a Hulu subscription, please watch Futureman. I'm sure it is a show that we could dedicate a whole podcast to. Jimmy and I started watching it 2 weeks ago, and we're done. Like, we already finished the 3rd season. It's just that good. But in terms of Avatar, you're right. We haven't seen anything like it before. I don't have a feeling that we won't see anything like it until the sequels come out. Cameron has always been sort of one of those sort of edge pushing directors in terms of sort of technology, and it's going to be interesting to see what he does with the sequels. Not to mention how he furthers the story, but yeah, you've had very few cinematic experiences like seeing Avatar in IMAX, and it's incredible.
IMAX 3D was nuts. I mean, and it was one of the first 3D experiences I ever had where it wasn't like super over the top and in your face.
Right.
There's a scene where the trees are destroyed and blown up, and basically you're sitting there and you see little embers just floating down, and those are in 3D, and the rest of it's not. It's just really well done.
Yeah.
So moving on, another film that's was touted for its visual effects in its day and still holds up pretty well, actually, when you watch it again, is The Matrix.
Oh God!
I've heard this is coming back for another round. So I don't know if
they're
it's
making a fourth one right now. And
that's right, in San Francisco. That's right,
Yes.
with Keanu. Yeah, that's right, and Carrie-Anne Moss. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there, right? Carrie-Anne Moss, not the Trinity we remember.
Right. Yeah.
Still around. If she can still do that scorpion sting, I'm all in.
Oh yeah.
So amazing movie. Something I'll probably watch again here in the next couple of days, just because it's super fun. Probably not bringing Addie on board in that one for a while, but I think it's something that'll blow her mind. It'd be cool to see her watch it for the first time, like when she's a teenager.
Yeah.
And red pill or blue pill, kid.
And another amazing soundtrack.
Oh God, yeah.
Great soundtrack. Love that movie. The sequels, this is one where the sequels were just like they kept getting progressively worse.
Right. Yeah.
So hopefully the new one brings us back more in line with the original. One of those movies that's really hard to hit the same kind of tone and lightning in a bottle kind of thing that happened with the original, because it was just so beyond its time.
Yeah.
So I mean, good luck to anybody else trying to follow up on that, but we'll see how it goes. And then the last one, I wanted to put something kind of funnier in here. I know I picked Guardians of the Galaxy, but I was going to pick either Spaceballs or Galaxy Quest, and they were both on my list, and I wanted to kind of, I already did Star Wars, so I guess we'll put something Star Trek-y in there, which is exactly what Galaxy Quest is. It's one of my all-time favorite movies in general, and then when you talk about this genre, it's definitely up there, like top 5, top 10.
Oh yeah.
The acting, as much of an asshole as Tim Allen is reportedly, his acting and all of the supporting cast in this were just absolutely amazing. And what a fucking cast! Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Sam Rockwell, Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
Alan Rickman.
Oh God, Rickman was so good in this.
That Grabthar's hammer quote has never worn out for me.
By Grabthar's hammer.
By the sons of
What a
war.
savings.
Yeah, exactly. What a shaving.
Yeah.
So dry.
My favorite is look around. Can you form some sort of rudimentary lathe? Get off the line, guy.
I think that's, if we're gonna do a synced up podcast viewing, we should start with Galaxy Quest.
Oh God, I would recite every single line
right
in that.
Oh, yeah.
No, you're not allowed to do that.
So good. Yes,
But
I
you
am.
matter. I just drew a number 6.
Yeah. I don't have a last name.
I don't have
He
a
has a
last
last name. Do I? Do I? Mommy. Mommy.
It's so good. Oh my God. So yeah, I mean, for a million reasons, one of which you never would think that the effects would be something you'd talk about, but the effects were actually pretty good.
And the makeup too. The aliens,
creature
the
effects
ones
on the
that
aliens
they
were great.
So good.
The lobster-headed.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh man.
But yeah, so that rounds out my top 5.
Okay.
Yeah, good time.
Nice. I'm having trouble where to start my list. I think I'm gonna go bottom up here. How I did it. So my first movie that I thought of initially was Dune, and there was a series on Sci-Fi for this. Again, this is sort of magic they haven't sort of captured again right off, and the images from the new movie look very, very promising, of course. And I mean, let's hope that they can come close. But this was just such an epic movie and such an epic undertaking for the time that, now the effects are hokey and everything, but man, solid acting all around and just fun. Early Sir Patrick Stewart in there. This is a movie that I can't, if it comes on, I have to watch it. And I watch it no matter where it is till the end. And I don't know, it's just, I hear there's some incredible 6-hour cut of this movie somewhere.
What?
Apparently there's a super edit of this movie that has all sorts of, it must be just some weird rumor or something.
Huh.
But I don't know. I've looked. Trust me. and I don't know if it's out there for consumption. I think it exists. Maybe the first edit was abnormally long or something. But I don't know. This is just, it's one of those movies where you watch it and you're like, God damn, these people were in it. And it's I love it. I don't know. It's one of those movies that you tell people that you like and you're like, really like that movie? I'm like, fuck yeah, I love that movie. Screw you guys. I'm going home.
Joe, stop doing research for your extended list.
Seeing
things pop up oh.
Yeah. My second movie was The Running Man. And my sort of one way to get me is to give me a sort of not so far off in the future alternate reality movie. And this is Arnold, but oh man, honestly, one of the people who saves this movie is Richard Dawson, just completely bashing himself for hosting Family Feud all those years. And it was such a great way to see him sort of out of any character that you knew him as hosting the Family Feud. But it's just such a good, I don't know. It was, and again, we didn't have the internet back then, so I didn't know a whole lot about it when I saw it, but it was just one of those movies. It's one of those movies that just stuck with me again. I see that it's on. I got it, and all the movies on my list are those. If it's on, I'm watching it. It's happening, but so it's one of those movies for me. My next movie is District 9.
Love this choice, by the way.
Oh God,
what a sleeper! This movie was. Holy shit!
Yeah. So this was, and the filmmaker's name is escaping me, but this movie was initially supposed to be the Halo movie.
Really?
Is that true?
So there was money secured for a Halo movie, and they had the filmmaker. It was the same filmmaker too, director, and the rights for Halo magically went away at that point, and so
no shit.
The guys were like, okay, well, do you have anything else? And he's like, I have the script I've been working on. How much money can you give me? And they're like, well, we'll give you this much. And he made it. Sharlto Copley, just out of nowhere, he classically plays just wimpy little corporate guy to super decked out action hero in a minute. And it's fantastic. The story's so good. And again, just, sort of a narrative that you've seen in other ways and shapes and forms, but never in a sort of aliens from outer space movie.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing I loved about it is it's gritty and real. It doesn't look gnarly. It looks like it could actually happen.
Yeah, it deals with speciesism and alienation. Pardon the pun, and how terrible people can be. It doesn't help that it's in South Africa either.
Oh yeah,
he's a South African
Neil Blomkamp is the guy who made it.
Blomkamp, District 9 and Elysium and Chappie, and they all have kind of the same tone when you think about it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and one of the genius things about this movie too was the documentary sort of style to it.
Agreed.
That made it feel very, very sort of grounded and real and stuff like that. So it was one of those movies that just sort of took me in initially, and like I don't know that I blinked through the whole movie.
Yeah, it was brilliant. So it starts out really kind of innocent, and you're not innocent, but just very kind of benign. Like, okay, there's aliens that live here. We've got a whole district of people that are camps for the aliens. Then we have this whole department of humans that deal with them and can speak their language and whatever. Yeah. And it's really just kind of a terrible immigration story to start with, and then just gets turned on its ear. I love the way that it happens. And like you were saying, I think once it really starts going, I don't think I blinked or looked away or did anything. I couldn't imagine trying to miss anything at that point.
Right. Yeah. So, and the next movie on my list, and sort of I slashed the sci-fi / fantasy so I could.
This is so far afield, but it works. I'll allow it.
It is fantasy. There are fantastical elements in this movie.
Oh God, fantasy, sci-fi.
What? That's right. I'm talking about Big Trouble in Little China. God.
You know what Andy Drake always says in a situation like go fuck your rules. It's such a great fucking movie. Oh my God.
Oh God. I mean, Kurt Russell has turned in some fantastic performances, but nothing for me beats Jack Burton.
No. And why didn't we see something else with that character? What a crime.
Exactly right. I think I know. I mean, I don't think the movie did that well at the box office, so that's probably why it just sort of died in the water. They've talked about extending this movie. This as like a couple of years ago, they were talking about the Rock's in talks to do a Big Trouble in Little China sequel.
God, please don't do that. Just bring Kurt Russell back. Exactly. And it's been that long.
No, yeah. But no, this is one of my sort of all-time. It's got to be on my top 5 list.
Two girls with green eyes. There's so many like Egg Shen and oh my God, I can't stop.
Yeah, and then the elements were the lightning element was the sort of the basis for Raiden in Mortal Kombat. I mean, this movie spoke to a lot of fucking people.
It did.
And
his truck is called the Pork Chop Express. Give me a break. I mean, he delivers pigs, and it's called the Pork Chop Express.
Yeah. I own several DVDs of this movie, several copies,
several media formats
of the different ones that came out.
Right. VHS, regular DVD.
Yeah. Sooner or later, when I get the balls, I will be Jack Burton for Halloween. I finally dropped down to a proper weight.
If you find his boots, let me know, because I've been wanting those for years.
Right.
Okay.
That would be cool. So you have to do a family Big Trouble in Little China though, and have like the kid be the eyeball monster or something.
Oh, totally.
And just like black clothing and just the head.
Right. Oh yeah.
The beholder. That'd be great.
Yeah. So if there's any sort of movie list in terms of love for movie, this movie will always find its way on there for me.
Agreed. It's one of those like 80s staples like Top Gun and Beverly Hills Cop. Like you have to put Big Trouble in Little China in that list without a doubt.
Absolutely. Yeah. Amazing. So the last one on my list is easily one of my favorite sci-fi movies to date. There hasn't been a sequel ever. The Fifth Element.
It's a perfect movie.
It really is.
Jo sitting at her table with the little sign in front of it saying Fifth Element is a perfect movie.
I love that movie
You're a living meme, Jo, but congratulations. You jumped the shark into memehood.
Yeah. God, man, Bruce Willis, Mia Jovovich. I mean, it's just out there, man. It's so. I mean, God, it was just such a good movie. It's
brilliant,
a great movie. It's a fun, exciting, great sci-fi save the world movie. God damn, I don't know. There's I don't know. it's great how it sort of crept into popular culture too. And again, just it's this sort of not so. I mean, obviously, it's sort of very far off in terms of like the scope of New York, and hey, we're living with aliens, and everybody's, that's just sort of what's happening. And God, I don't know. It's just it's so cool. It just seems Chris Tucker. God damn.
Mini.
Super green.
Come on, man. It's one of the so after Friday, that is, I mean, forget Rush Hour.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Friday and Fifth Element. Are we green?
Yeah.
Are we green? Okay, super green. Okay.
Super green.
Okay.
Just the scream when Willis detonates the bomb.
My God, it's so
and the camera angle on it, and just that
flailing and screaming
right.
at the same time. Yeah, I loved Gary Oldman in this too.
So good. Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel.
Yeah, it's one
Zorg.
of my favorite characters in that. It's so good.
Yeah. Does not kill you, makes you stronger. So I had just watched this movie, and it had been out a couple of years. But I was working. This is when I was working the cafe on Angel Island, and so we would get people, just sort of, day sailing on boats and stuff, and anyway, people on sort of long trips coming around, and they would come in and grab a sandwich at the thing. And so anyway, one person comes in, orders like a sandwich and some chips and stuff, hands me their credit card, and says multi-pass. And I will lose it.
That's awesome.
I proceeded to tell them for 5 minutes how much I love this movie. But yeah, I don't know. It's just so many quotes from this movie, and I love it. I just think it's so good. This yeah, and I love that they didn't sort of sully this with a sequel, and oh hey, the world's ending again. Let's
you can't really go from the universe destruction to start with. It's a hard one to follow up on.
Exactly.
You gotta go, and we're running out of water. On a darker note, it sucks that Vito Cornelius outlived his assistant. He's Ian Holm is 88, and rest in peace to Perry.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Aziz, light.
Exactly. No.
So yeah, that's my list.
Very cool.
Let's move into honorable mentions. Joe, you got some?
I got a couple. So Annihilation was one that got a lot of panning, which I don't know why. It is a fantastic movie.
Slow. Very slow.
Be patient. It's worth it.
Oh, yeah. No, it's on my list, too. Or I think it was at one point.
The visual effects are, again, stunning. The world is just, it's so creepy. And, like,
the bear. Oh, my God.
The bear is terrifying.
It is amazing.
And just the way throughout the whole movie, you can see, like, the DNA changing in the world. And it just, like, makes your skin crawl. It's creepy as hell. But I love it.
I love movies that I have to watch a couple times just to get it.
I love movies with Natalie Portman in general.
Well, okay. Yeah, if you reference the Rum and Regret After Dark podcast,
I believe she's on all of our lists,
you will know,
including your wife.
Hey, man, the way she handled that rifle, that was pretty hot.
Please talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, and the ending of that was so surreal and amazing. So, and the music too, and everything. That was a great movie.
Oh yeah.
And then Dear District 9 made me totally think, oh my gosh, I forgot Chappie.
Yeah, Chappie's a great movie.
Because I love D. Antwoord, so you put D.
I love
Antwoord
B-Boy
with
Street Chappie too. Like, they raise him up and he's all straight as fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's like somebody took D. Antwoord and Short Circuit and made him into an awesome movie.
Right. That's funny. Oh, man.
Yep. And I think that's it for my honorable mentions.
Nice. What about you, Nate?
My list is long and distinguished, so you should probably
like
go.
Mike Johnson.
You should probably go next.
No, you go first, because I'll let's
Okay.
let's just go
Okay.
through it.
I'll just run through it then.
Okay.
Spaceballs, for obvious reasons.
Oh God. Yeah.
We're combing the desert. We ain't found shit. Out of all the lines in the, that's probably
amazing.
one of my
It's got the same
favorites.
combination on my luggage.
Exactly.
Preparing. Why are you always preparing? Just go. Just go. Sir, you should probably.
Oh my God. I'll have the. What did he have?
Right.
Soup.
Yeah.
Special. Or the soup, the other way around. So yeah, amazing movie. I'm probably going to introduce Addie to this soon.
Yeah.
Because she loves Star Wars so much, it would be perfect.
Oh yeah.
Next one on my list, The Last Starfighter. I have shown her a while ago, actually last year.
Oh, good.
And she absolutely loved it. The tech is really bad. The remaster of it for Blu-ray is actually decent. It doesn't have all the like tracking cubes from the bad CGI in it, like the original Star Wars did.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really hold up tech-wise, but the story is still great.
So this was a movie that sort of got me. I mean, aside from Star Wars, because I watched Star Wars, I think was probably one of the first sci-fi movies that I ever saw. But this was a close second to me, and
so much more relatable.
Well, absolutely. A kid's playing video games and then gets chosen, and that is the premise of Futureman too on Hulu. Is
Sponsorship opportunities available,
right,
for Futureman on Hulu.
I know. I'm totally blowing Futureman, but it's anyway. But no, Last Starfighter was one of those movies that I thought, oh, this could be me. I could be playing a video game.
We can't just walk past that, Andy. So if you're presently blowing Futureman, does it change when he comes? I get.
Well, okay.
Yeah, past tense. I guess it's.
Yeah,
you have every tense in one.
Not to spoil anything, but that is.
And the show has reaced a new low.
I'm so sorry.
Really? This is what brings us down to low?
No, you guys are way worse than me. Well, maybe not.
If you watch the pilot of Futureman, that statement will be hilarious. You guys will drop on the floor laughing. And I'll just leave it there.
And provide us with the information. Okay, so yeah, Last Starfighter, awesome movie. Amazing. The next one was critically panned at the box office. They spent a ton of money on this movie. John Carter. Absolutely love it. It was really fun. Addie can't stop talking about this movie, mainly because the beginning of it, the intro, they pan down in space and it goes, Mars. And they start talking about the whole story. And she doesn't know the name of the movie. She doesn't remember the name of the character. Dad, can we watch that movie, the Mars? Like she does the voice. Can we do the Mars movie, Dad? I'm like, yes, when we have 3 hours to kill.
Right.
I was really bummed.
Too.
That this thing didn't take off because I can't remember the name of the actor that plays him, but he was in a bunch of stuff back to back, and this movie killed his career.
Was it like Tyler Kitsch or something like that?
Yeah, Hirsch or
Kitsch?
something like that. He was in the Varsity Blues show, and then a couple other things. Anyway.
Yeah.
Tyler Hirsch or Taylor Hirsch, something like that. Anyway,
something like that.
Pretty good actor actually in this.
Yeah.
And some of the other stuff I've seen him in. And I just love the world. I love the idea. And there's supposed to be, it's a book series, and it's supposed to be several other ones,
right,
in the series, and never got made because they spent, I think, $250 or $300 million, and I don't think it ever recovered.
Well,
that much.
it was mismarketed too, and then I think, if I remember correctly too, I think the movie had some development problems, and it just took a while to get made. So at the time, it just became this sort of mishmash of ideas, and then there was a whole marketing issue where, because I think that book is called John Carter of Mars.
Yeah.
And then they just decided to strip of Mars because they didn't think people would go see that movie for some reason.
Yeah, which makes no sense.
Which is weird because I think that would make me go see a movie. It's like, okay, John Carter, it's such a wonderfully generic name. Oh no, John Carter of Mars.
Yeah,
Go on.
John Carter doesn't exactly. Yeah, well done. That was a good job.
Yeah.
Well done. Yeah, John Carter doesn't mean anything, but when you add Mars to it, suddenly, this has possibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah. So great movie. Love it. Eddie loves it, and watch it pretty much all the time. Next one on my this is gonna take a long time to get to this list. I apologize. But because Evolution is such an amazing fucking movie. And guess what Addie watched last weekend for the first time?
Yes.
I basically went, all right, she's not going to get some of the innuendo, and the language isn't that bad.
Yeah.
But just the fact that we went shopping the other day, and she asked me to do the tookie tookie sound in the store makes everything worth it.
Oh, totally.
This movie is quoted daily in our house.
It's
agreed. Yeah.
One of the best things ever.
Oh yeah.
Take the leg. I mean,
this man thinks he's an athlete.
You took it like this. You're a man. You took it like a man. It's like this.
Want some ice cream? Okay, what flavor? It doesn't matter. It's full of my ass.
My ass. There's always time for lubricant. Just that one scene, but the whole movie, amazing.
Oh, so good. Yeah.
And that's another movie where I'd love to have seen that group together.
Oh, again, yeah.
All three of them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Is it Juliette Lewis? Who's the actress? Not Juliette Lewis.
No, Julianne Moore.
Julianne Moore, thank you.
All right.
Yeah, great. Just a great combination of people. And loved it. So Alien obviously got pulled. Predator. Jesus.
True. Again, the sequels just failed to live up to the magic of the first. And, I love that they decided to make the sequels around the character, the Predator, and not Schwarzenegger, which was such a good idea.
Agreed.
But yeah, I don't know, the stories just suffered.
Yeah, the more I watch Predator 2, the more I can appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
It's also that very 80s genre. It has cops in it and drug dealers in it, so it's like the expanded universe basically.
Yeah.
The actors are fucking hilarious. I mean,
Bill Paxton before R.I.P. buddy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, who doesn't love all those people? So good flick. But the original Predator is fucking phenomenal.
Oh, God.
Still watch that movie anytime it's on.
Yeah.
I put Mars Attacks on here, which I absolutely hated when I first saw it. Could not stand this fucking movie. I wanted to leave. It was so bad. Just that and the singing at the end, like the way they kill him. Spoiler alert. But the more
fan for Swim Whitman.
But this was, I think, before maybe I understood sarcasm.
Oh man,
because it's so fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And I wasn't enlightened enough to appreciate it at the time. So, love Mars Attacks. Apparently, they're going to do another one, from what I've heard.
Well, yeah. Again, this is one of those movies that if it's on, I'm going to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I agree. I did not appreciate it fully when I first saw it, but I mean, just rewatch after rewatch after rewatch, and you just can't help but fucking love this movie.
Oh fuck! Watch it now. Jack Nicholson is the president.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Oh god.
It's
yeah.
Scary as fuck.
Right.
When that president doesn't seem as crazy.
Wait. Who is the leading lady in that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I can't remember. Is it Natalie Portman?
I mean, potentially. She's pretty young in that, but I was young too back then. That's okay. So I threw Signs on here. Gotta have a Shyamalama Ding Dong on this list, even though he's kind of fallen off. Really like this movie. Thought it was great. It's not so much sci-fi, even though there's aliens involved. It's more of kind of a horror-ish, horror adjacent.
Still movie. One of the more creepy alien movies that I've seen. That, it still gives me goosebumps.
It's the creep factor success for sure.
Well, and one of the things too, if you can sort of integrate an alien invasion into the current times and make it somewhat believable,
if you can make a movie like that scary and suspenseful without showing the alien,
fucking A, man,
that's a success.
Seriously. So good. Yeah,
there's a couple movies that do that, but this movie does it really well. So Ex Machina is on my list. Obviously, that movie is fucking amazing. Blade Runner also.
Oh god, yeah,
amazing movie. Martian I put on here just because as far as a more contemporary kind of sci-fi but scientifically accurate movie according to the scientific community. Matt Damon Stranded on Mars.
Yeah, no, I
poop potatoes and all that.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this movie before, but yeah, it's again
read the book.
Right, and
that's what I've heard.
I was waiting for
every time.
I was waiting for
Pretty sure Joe said that before. We can quote. We'll insert some time here. We can transpose her quote from that.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
So let's see. Edge of Tomorrow, also known as Live, Die, Repeat, with the Tom Cruise.
Groundhog Day in space.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if it would work for Phil Ryers,
right.
then it'll work for Tom Cruise and oh God, what's her name? Emily Blunt. Emily Blunt. Thank you.
Yep.
I love this movie. It was another one of those like I'm not really sure what I'm going to see here, even though the previews kind of gave it away.
Yeah.
But I loved it. It's awesome. Can definitely watch that again. Terminator, obviously. Minority Report. Holy fuck. This movie blew my mind on a couple different levels. I kind of mainly just want the interface. So have
right.
screens,
Yeah.
and we're basically there.
Right.
Think about it. So they just need to get their shit together, and we can actually have the Minority Report thing going on.
Yeah, that was that's one of my favorite movies too. Tom Cruise, Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
Just sort of out there, and it's I mean, Tom Cruise. I mean, he's starting to play sort of these more broken guys, to sort of. But this was I think one of the first times where he wasn't like a perfect, like guy, and he had the drug addiction and everything, and so it's good. It's one of those really good movies that just sort of hit you over the head, like, oh damn, this was all right,
and super scary possibility of the future. Back then, I mean, even scarier, I think, at this point. But kind of cool ways that they implemented new technology, but didn't go super crazy. Out of left field, it was very futuristic. This is very future possible, as opposed to just future fantasy type stuff.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. One that I didn't put on this list that I forgot about that I need to be on here is iRobot with Will Smith.
Oh yeah.
Love that fucking movie, and talk about crazy tech that we could probably see at some point. They did a really good job integrating those worlds together. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah.
And then the 80s and 90s montages continue with RoboCop and Total Recall. Those are my last two in the list.
Oh God.
So
yeah.
I had to throw both of those in for obvious reasons.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. RoboCop's just one of those highly quotable, just sort of come, live or die, you come with me.
Yeah. It's not really sci-fi. It's more just future Earth dystopia.
Hey, you're talking to the guy who put Big Trouble in Little China on the list. I think you're all right.
Yeah. I'm aware. But I appreciate your allowing me to throw that on our podcast. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, and then Total Recall. Man, talk about a movie that I quoted nonstop as a kid because I wish I had more hands. It's so quotable, and there's so many there. Open your mind, like there's so many things that you can pull out of that. The remake actually wasn't horrible.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't good. I mean, who doesn't want to get in the middle of a Kate Beckinsale, Jessica Biel sandwich?
Oh God, yes, please. Can we just go on?
That's all I have to say about it.
Well done.
Right. Yeah.
Quote of the evening.
There's some fodder for the treatment there, Joe.
Right.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's it for the prodigious list.
Okay, yeah. So the only other movie that I have to mention, we can't talk sci-fi without me putting up Tron.
Oh yeah.
Duh. Jeez.
Andy fights for the user.
That's right. Again, this was one of my first sort of introductions to like sci-fi and sort of like what they could do, not only with movies, but just sort of, where it could take you. And I was too young to get the whole computer program thing when I first saw it, but then you know, when I would rewatch it, I would get it, and I'm just like, wow, god damn, this was such a cool movie.
Yeah, really ahead of its time.
Yeah, and yeah, the sequel, while visually good, just didn't, you know, sort of hack it in terms of sort of the original story.
Sequel.
I love it too.
I love the sequel, and the soundtrack is fucking epic. There's Daft Punk on it and shit. God.
Oh god, yeah. So no, anyway, Tron is one of those sort of like all-time movies for me. Again, own several sort of DVDs of the different sort of that have come out in it, and I think one of the Disneylands has a light cycle ride somewhere that someday I will get to and ride. But yeah, that's the one that you did not catch, Nate, on your list.
I forgot Ready Player One also, because even though that's not really sci-fi, it's a video game movie, it has all of that in it.
Now, let's back up to the first night that we actually saw that movie together, and you walked out of the theater. What did you say?
I wanted to walk out of the theater. No, compared to the book, the movie's a piece of shit. Standing on its own, it's still decent and enjoyable for my daughter.
No,
but it has a bunch of those sci-fi elements, which is why I threw it out there.
Okay, cool. I like it. All right.
Any bunch of other ones on there, Andy? What else do you have on your list there?
No, I know that was you. Pretty much hit everything.
No, there's a bunch in column D. Are these all Joe?
They're probably me.
Oh.
Yeah. Well,
Never-ending Story and Legend and.
Oh yeah, that was me.
No, we missed those.
Well, let's talk about those.
All
Bring
right,
them up.
Well, I was gonna because the last a little bit is fantasy, but I'm an epic fantasy junkie. So Labyrinth, The Dark Crystal, Legend, and Never-ending Story. The fantasy. Was it quadfecta?
Yeah.
Yeah, Legend. I tried watching that the other day with the kid, forgetting about how crazy it is and how dark and scary it is at the beginning.
Yeah.
You'll love
pretty
this.
heavy.
Oh, wait a minute. Hang on.
Yeah.
Let's be a good parent.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as the unicorn in the field and the goblin archer comes out, like, ooh.
Yeah.
Hey, Addie, so that's what a goblin assassin looks like in D&D, all right? Can you visualize it?
Yeah.
There you go.
The makeup in that movie was fantastic. Curry just fucking kills it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that he was literally terrifying as that character.
Yep.
And strangely attractive to some women.
Right. Yeah. And then
those hooves seem to indicate he was packing.
Yeah, and then a role where you don't want to punch Tom Cruise in the face, you know?
Is that before? It's before teeth, though, so you can get away with it, right?
Yeah.
And speaking of Tom Cruise, I gotta say, War of the Worlds. I love that movie. Even though Dakota Fanning is annoying as all get out.
Yeah, it was pretty good from what I remember.
Yeah, let me get on my soapbox. I'm a purist when it comes to War of the Worlds. So I like the older movie. That's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah. What else? Anything else?
So there was a Netflix sleeper movie called Tao that was really awesome. It was a lady that was being held captive by an AI, and she became friends with it and tried to get it to help her escape.
Isn't that?
I think I've mentioned it on the podcast before.
That's not Mother, is it?
No, it's called Tao. T-A-O.
What's the difference between that one and Mother?
Mother it's the robot that raises the human.
Right. Okay, sorry. Yeah, because I saw Mother. That was great.
Oh, yeah.
I think I watched that on your recommendation.
Yeah. Well, if Tao is still on Netflix, check it out.
Okay.
It's similarly awesome.
and that just made me think of something that I totally forgot. Did you guys see Moon? Oh,
I love Moon.
Sam Rockwell and Kevin Spacey.
I love Lamp. What is Moon?
So Moon was an independent movie with Sam Rockwell, and Sam Rockwell is stationed on the moon.
Oh my god,
And
I love this already.
he is with an AI that is voiced by Kevin Spacey, and it was before the fall of Spacey. That is, and it's good, dude. I don't want to spoil it since you haven't seen it, but watch the movie. You'll figure out what's going on about, I don't know, 30, 35, 40 minutes in, and you're going to fucking love it.
Yeah. It was made by David Bowie's son, Duncan Jones.
Yep, that's right.
Interesting.
What was this? Oh, Mute. That was the other one he made that was really good.
Right. Yeah. But Moon was actually one of the last movies that I saw at the Dome in Pleasant Hill.
Oh, God, rest in peace.
Yeah, when it had those great indie flicks and the little side ones.
Oh, man.
Dude, that main theater was fucking amazing. I saw Jurassic Park there probably 6 times with my dad.
Yeah, me too.
I saw
Return of the Jedi,
yeah.
Terminator 2,
I saw The Dark Knight there. That was cool.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't we all go see The Dark Knight in IMAX down in Dublin?
I believe we
That's
did.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, when Carly was still pregnant.
Oh, right.
She held it through most of the movie.
Oh my God, that's right.
Hats off.
Right.
To her
No,
for
and
that
I remember because I got there first and I accidentally chose seats like in the middle so we could view it better.
Right.
And everybody was like, "What were you thinking?" I'm like, I forgot.
Yeah. That was, I think, no, that wasn't the first because Avatar came in before that, right? Before Dark Knight?
I think so.
I think so. But yeah, that was another one that was just amazing. Talk about fucking IMAX perfection with the cityscapes.
Oh God,
Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
God, damn.
Yeah,
so good. So that's one of the kind of side note since we're talking about sci-fi and sci-fantasy stuff. They really need to get their shit together when it comes to releasing these 4K Blu-rays, or at least even the Blu-rays. What the fuck? They need to be releasing these with the IMAX shots intact because they don't. Everything's letterboxed. So
well, I mean, but that's those are the TVs that you have though.
No, it's not. It's the actual disc. It doesn't come with that stuff. So what you see in the theater is different than what you get at home. Because I bought Endgame on 4K special edition, whatever, but it doesn't have any of the IMAX shots in it. It's all the same format, which really sucks.
So you can't see Thanos' cockplate?
Only in my dreams, and only in the life-size bust I'm printing downstairs with my 3D printer. Don't tell Austin; he'll get jealous.
That's right. Yeah. No, Austin is currently in a deep Mandalorian armor print right now.
I know. He showed me pictures of the rifle he finished printing and the helmet that he, I think, just finished printing in his painting.
Yeah, the rifle broke. So he is now working on a girthier rifle.
That's what she said. I don't know how does that work. A girthier rifle.
A girthier rifle. I went up there the other day because we're to keep Xander sort of engaged while we're home. We have I bought a bunch of those little Lego minifigure surprise packs. Right, They just came out with a new batch of them, and one of them was a red bearded Viking.
Oh, perfect.
So I took a picture of it and I sent it to him, and he's like, "Dude, that's me." So I ran it up there because we take walks around the neighborhood and they're on a route, and so I dropped it off to him, and then he said, "Yeah, my rifle broke." I'm like, "Oh, dude."
Oh, dude, that's tragic. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that you mentioned Lego minifigs. I guarantee you there's 3D files online. We could probably print our own minifigs.
Oh yeah, but then you got to paint them.
Yeah, that's half the fun.
Yeah.
Like literally, actually more than half. That's
right.
2/3 of the entertainment because you can customize it.
Yeah. So anyway, do we have any
cool.
Any final thoughts?
No, I think a good follow-up at some point, doesn't have to be the next one, is the sequel, like best sequels.
the best sequels that were equal or surpassed their original.
Yeah, I mean, just on a couple of these lists, Aliens, I think, is better than the original. Terminator 2,
Game
better
over,
than
man.
the original.
Game over.
Yeah. Empire Strikes Back, better than the original. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot on here.
I agree. So yeah, that would be not a bad Not a bad topic whatsoever. All right. Were there any movies that we missed? Let us know in the comments. You can find us on Facebook at the Rum and Regret Podcast, or it's just Rum and Regret. Sorry. You can find us on Twitter at rum_regret. Joe, where can they find you?
Joe Chickadee on all social media, or joechickadee.com.
Nate?
Yeah, they can find me at Avid Gamer, AV1D Gamer, all one word.
And you can find me at Crazy Drake on Facebook, Andrew Drake on Twitter. Again, let us know what you think. We hope you guys are all safe and healthy and happy. And until the next time, we have spoken. I do that for you guys. I do that just for your faces. I do that for your faces.
I want to join in at some point, but I can't stop laughing. It was so good.